What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, today we are going to be doing this Valentine's Day look. It turned out so cute and so flirty, and I'm just so excited to share with you guys. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We are first going to go in with my very loved Modern Renaissance palette, and we are going to go in with the shade Golden Ochre. And on a Morphe M441, we are going to blend that into the crease as our transition. Next, we are going to go into the NYX Ultimate palette, and we're going to take this pink shade, and on that same Morphe M441, we are going to blend this into that Golden Ochre shade. Before applying the shadows, I did prime my eyelids with some Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I set it with Laura Mercier setting powder, and I did put a piece of Scotch tape there, just to make sure that we can get the cleanest and precisest line that we possibly can. I'm going to be blending in windshield wiper and circular motions just to make sure that we get those shadows buffed in together and making sure that we are avoiding any harsh lines. It's hard to tell, but I am holding the brush at the bottom of the handle. It gives you less control the farther you are away from the bristles, which is going to make the shadows disperse more evenly. I'm again going into my NYX Ultimate palette, and I'm going to be picking up this hot pink shade, again on that Morphe M441, and starting out more towards the outer corner, I am going to bring that into the inner corner, and keeping that a lot lower than when I laid that first light pink shade. I'm going to take my brush and flick it out towards the end. Remember, we have that Scotch tape there, so it is going to make that line nice and precise. Once you start blending up towards the brow bone, make sure that you don't have any additional product on your brush and that you are using a very light hand. Alrighty, back to the Modern Renaissance palette. We are going to be picking up Love Letter on a NYX Professional Blending Brush, and we are going to keep this a lot lower than we did the first two shades, making sure it's more focused towards the outer V and then sweeping it in towards the inner corner. Although we do have tape there, we do want to make sure that by the tape it is blended, because when we remove it, we want it to look as nice as it possibly can. Going back in with that Morphe M441 with no additional product on it, we are going to make sure that all of these colors are just blended together and making sure that there are no harsh lines. I did lose some of the pigment from the Love Letter shade, so I did dip back into that again with that NYX Professional Blending Brush, keeping it low and focused towards the outer V. And again with that Morphe M441, just to make sure everything is blended. Okay, so this is what I have so far. Cute! Okay, next I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, put some on my eyelid, and look up. This is going to give me the guideline of where I'm going to create my new crease. For this, I'm just going to be using a small angled liner brush. It is nice and precise and gives me nice sharp lines. My greatest advice to you while doing this is take your time. Make sure that you are doing the best job that you possibly can, because you want that to be as round and perfect as it possibly can be. Ah, see right there, I fucked up. Make sure to take your time. Make sure you do have a stopping point for that concealer, because again, this is only a half cut crease, so we don't want to bring that all the way to the outer V. Okay, this is totally optional, but I grabbed my lashes to pull my eyelid down just to make sure that that line is as precise as it can fucking be. I'm then going to fill in this empty space with concealer, and then go ahead and blend it together with my finger to make sure it's a nice and smooth base. Then going to be setting it with some Laura Mercier translucent powder. Now that that is fucking over with, we are going back into the Modern Renaissance palette and grabbing the shade Vermeer. We are going to be taking that on a flat shader brush that I had wet with some setting spray, and going to put that on part of the crease that we cut. Wetting a shimmery shadow is going to intensify the color and is really going to bring out the reflect. Again, with pulling my eyelid down, I am just making sure that I am being as clean and precise as I possibly can. And also blending those edges together. I'm next going to be taking a Sephora pointed detailing brush and that Vermeer shade and just making sure that I'm covering all of that concealer and making sure that line is nice and tight. Again, just packing the Vermeer shade on the eyelid and making sure that that and the shade Love Letter are blended in together. Again, with the Morphe brush, we are just going to go in over this line just to soften it up a little bit. Then going in with that Love Letter shade and just patting that on the outer corner just to make sure that those motherfuckers love each other. And we are going to go in with the NYX glitter glue and this NYX pink glitter, and with a tiny angled brush, we are going to put some on the back of our hand and just outline that cut crease. Although the glue is clear, we do want to make sure that we are being very precise and sticking to that line, because when we put the glitter on, it is going to stick to anywhere where we put the glue. I went ahead and dumped some of that glitter into the cap, and I'm going to take that same brush and in little sections just dab little bits of glitter on at a time. Again, make sure that you are taking your time doing this. You want it to only be on that outer line. This is what it looks like once the glitter is applied, and it looks so fucking good. Next, we are taking the Maybelline Master Precise eyeliner, and we are going to line the lash line next to the lashes. This is the best fucking eyeliner for this. I love it. We're going to remove our tapey tape, and then take this NYX matte liquid liner and just draw a nice thin line up into the border where the tape was. Next, we are going back in with that Maybelline eyeliner and drawing a line down just to connect it with the bottom line that we had previously drawn before and connecting any gaps. Back in with the NYX liner, we are just going to make sure that all of the gaps are filled in, making sure that it is nice, precise, and sharp. Make sure that you are taking your time doing this because you do not want to fuck it up. Next, grabbing my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and again that small angled brush, I'm going to put that on the back of my hand and just clean up underneath that wing. Once I get the nice sharp line I want, I am going to blend the concealer downwards, also going up next to my eyeshadow and blending it down, taking off the excess with a makeup wipe. This is how your girl looks so far. That wing is finna cut a bitch. I am slaying it. I'm then going to curl my lashes and throw in this random lash. I don't know what it is because I lost the package to it, and with some Duo lash glue, I am just going to let that sit for about 20 to 30 seconds. I'm then going to look forward and place that lash as close to my lash line as I possibly can, and using these tweezers, I'm going to make sure that it is touching everywhere where it needs to be, so when the glue dries down, it is going to stay in place. It's so important that if you're going to wear false lashes to make sure that your corners are glued down, because not only is it going to be uncomfortable, it looks like shit. I like to take the tweezers and just make sure that my lashes and the fake lashes are as close as they can be, making sure that that band is nice and close to my eyelid. I just love how much lashes make a look completely come together. We're going back in with that NYX eyeliner and just concealing that band. The glue does dry down clear, but I just like to make sure everything is completely black. Next, we are going to go in with my favorite, the Tarte mascara, and just going to coat my lashes and make sure that they are blended into the false ones. A lot of people like to do this before, but my eyelashes are so long that I just think it looks better if I do it afterwards, and I just like the lift that it gives the false lashes. Let me know in the comment sections if you like these little scenes of what it should look like between each step. Alright, starting off with the face, we are going to be using the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Primer, and we are going to put that all over our face. Next, we're going to go in with this L'Oreal Magic Lumi Primer, and this is just going to make it a nice, shiny, illuminizing base for our foundation. Once that's all blended into the skin, we are going to go in with this Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Soft Beige and a Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. And we are just going to evenly distribute this all over our face using this shitty ass spatula it comes with. I'm then going to take my beauty sponge and go ahead and blend that out. Flawless. Okay, for concealer, we're going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in shade Fair, and I'm going to go ahead and put this under my eyes. This is going to cover your dark circles and help any discoloration you have, and also give some extra coverage to your foundation. I'm also going to be adding it to the other high points of my face, like my nose, forehead, and chin. And again, with that same sponge, go ahead and blend it out. Remember when blending in your under eye concealer to go from outer to inner corner to make sure that there are no creases, and be very careful of your eyeshadow. Next, I am going to take the Maybelline Concealer in shade Deep, and I am going to contour with this. I'm going to be carving out my cheekbones and going down the bridge of my nose just to add some more dimension to my face. And of course, just go ahead and blend in that concealer. Next, I'm going to do a little bit of baking. I'm going to take my Laura Mercier translucent powder and again that Real Techniques Beauty Sponge, and I'm just going to set the concealer in place. This is going to make sure that it stays all day and it doesn't crease, and it's also going to add some extra highlight to that concealer. Okay, I also like to bake down the sides of my nose just to snatch that bitch up and make her about 2 sizes smaller. Next, we're going to go under that darker concealer that we laid with that translucent powder just to add some extra highlights under there and give that cheekbone some real dimension. For me, besides lashes, this is really when my face starts coming together. I'm then going to take a big powdery brush and just go ahead and dust that bake off, and then dipping into my Laura Mercier powder, I'm just going to set the rest of that in place. Next, we are going into my beloved Anastasia contour kit, and I am going to take Fawn and just go ahead with a big brush and carve out these cheekbones even more, bronzing up the face. I like to go up my temples, onto my forehead, that receding fucking hairline. Just make sure to snatch her all up. Excuse my face when I'm contouring, I can't help but doing that, but you know, we're just gonna roll with it. Make sure to go ahead and snatch up that jawline and make sure that you are blending down your neck so you have no harsh lines. Next, we're going in with the Lottie London Blush Crush in the shade Drake, and this is so fucking cute, especially for this Valentine's Day look. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that on the apples of my cheeks and blend back into that contour shade. This is totally optional, but I do it every time. I just take my big fluffy brush from when I wiped off that bake and just go ahead and go over that contour and blush just to make sure everything's blended out. Next, we are taking my Milani highlighter, and girl, on this M501, going to highlight the shit out of this face. Okay, so we are going to highlight the top of our cheekbones. We are also going to take some on our finger, put some on the tip of our nose, make sure we're blending it out with a brush, dipping back into the highlighter and going down the bridge of our nose. This is going to make it look longer and slimmer and less crooked in my case. Then grab that Cupid's bow, which is my favorite part. And then we are just going to do above the eyebrow, just for a little extra highlight, because why the fuck not? Then we are going to take that highlight and we are just going to do the inner corner of our eyes, and this is just going to widen them up, and it just looks so good. I'm then going to take that shade Love Letter and run that underneath my lash line, and this is going to tie the entire eye look together. To finish off this look, I'm just going to set everything in place with my Mario Badescu setting spray, and then going to apply some Lorac lipstick, and this is in the shade Cat Lady, and this is the finished product, guys. What do we think? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Mwah!